Last year, San Francisco pulled in $90 billion in venture capital. That's half of the venture dollars in the US and nearly half of the venture dollars in the entire world, with 65% of that going to AI. So why this city still dominates? Because deals here don't happen over Zoom. They happen at coffee shops. They happen at happy hour, and they happen during sprints where momentum is everything. And so if you want to raise money here, you need to know the unwritten rules. So here's how it works to raise money in SF. Deals still get done in person. So you don't need to move here, but if you come here just for your sprint, for your fundraising, it really increases your odds of closing quickly. The best raises I've seen recently from people visiting are people who took the time to prepare and actually book 2 weeks of intense back-to-back meetings, like 5 to 10 meetings a day. And they also take the opportunity to be here to attend a bunch of events. They go to a YC alumni event or to an incubator demo day, an angel drinks, whatever it is. They go to events and book all their meetings. What they also use, and they don't have a choice because they're only here for a few days, is they create a lot of urgency. Hey, I'm in SF until Friday. Are you here for a coffee? And then they keep sending reminders. Hey, I'm in town. Can we meet? And go from one meeting to another. If you're here, someone tells you, oh, you should meet this other person. Boom, book the meeting the next day. People here will give you 15 minutes if you ask nicely, not 2 hours, but it's quite easy to get in the room for 15 minutes with the right people. So that's the momentum. YC gives you 3 weapons. 1, legitimacy. You're not just an AI deck from Twitter. 2, it gives you distribution. Hundreds of investors interested in you at the same time. And 3, it gives you a timeline, a forcing function, and a deadline, forcing investors to decide whether they're in or they're out. But you should not necessarily treat demo day as the beginning of your fundraising. The best entrepreneurs are in touch with investors even during the batch, sending them updates on how they progress. They're also lining up conversation with strategic angels before demo day so they can show up and say that they've already started raising some money. And finally, they set a clear deadline saying, hey, we're gonna be done fundraising this day and this date after demo day. And if you didn't get into YC, well, that's okay. Many investors are actually here in town for demo day. So you can use the specific timeline to meet them, and you should probably use the same techniques. Apply a time pressure, give them a deadline, meet everyone at the same time, and create fear of missing out in this city that really runs on FOMO. Now, obviously, every founder dreams of having a check from a famous investor like a Sequoia, like an Andreessen Horowitz. But what you actually don't realize is that most of your money is going to come from names that you don't know, or at least that you don't know yet. There's a lot of smaller funds. For example, the people able to move the quickest are the solo GPs, funds between 10 and 50 million usually, that are built by ex-FANG employees, maybe ex-YC, just like Lobster Capital is. You also have a lot of angels here. You know, people make 5, 6, 7, 800K a year. So for a lot of people, writing you a 25K, 50K check is nothing if they believe in you, if they believe in your vision and your idea, if they like you. And finally, you have a lot of scouts. Many of those big funds have dozens, if not hundreds of scouts in the city looking to write small checks in the next big thing. And again, it's not gonna be $1 million, but it's always a good signal to say you get a scout check from a famous fund. So all of those people make it the easiest place to raise money for you. And so instead of chasing big names where you don't know anyone and you're just gonna cold email them without getting anywhere, you should really focus on talking to as many people as you can who are able to write small checks. So it's angels, it's the small funds that are hungry for deal flow. Try to find warm intros to those people, but also try to find people who are in the same space as you are, because they're gonna understand this industry. And even if they don't end up investing, they can probably introduce you to someone else, help you with go-to-market, and very likely, because they're gonna understand it, they're the ones that end up writing you a small check, but a small check plus a small check plus a small check, it actually compounds. And yes, everyone here is interested in AI, but of course, generic decks get ignored. So if you're pitching AI to investors here, they want to know what real life problem are you solving, and more specifically, what's your moat, what's your defensibility? Is it your technology? Is it your go-to-market? what makes you unique and irreplaceable. Best pitches are specific. So if you're building AI for lawyers, it's kind of weak. But if you say, hey, we fine-tuned our models, we already have 10 law firms using us for IP discovery, that gets you the second meeting. And investors here don't care so much about how the round is structured as long as it's clean and moving forward. For example, a great idea for you would be to find some people who are writing some syndicates checks, maybe from AngelList, that you can research and find online. Then you can cold outreach to them, try to meet them here, and see if they'd be willing to invest. If you're building momentum, people will come. What matters are clear terms on your raise, momentum and keeping them up to date, and who's coming in your deal. Here in SF, the funding is modular. No one cares if you only have angels in your round and no lead investor. No one cares if it's a bunch of SPVs. As long as you're able to raise your round and keep moving forward with your company, then it's a success. The thing about fundraising in SF is that it rarely looks like the myth. It could feel a little bit underwhelming when you're here. You see those headlines with those big firms, and here it's just you and the meetings you're able to source. If you're here, that's the part you got to understand. San Francisco still runs on speed, but it also runs on proximity. And so the founders that are able to close are the ones that keep the relationships evolving, but also treat every meeting as one step closer to actually closing their round. And that, in a nutshell, is what makes this city the best place on earth to fundraise and the best place on earth to build a startup.